Many years ago, there lived a young girl named Ibukun. She was a very intelligent and smart girl. Ibukun's mother was a tailor before she became sick. Ibukun had no father, and so she always provides for her sick mother alone. She would wake up very early in the morning and make food for her sick mother before going to school. And when she comes back home, she would take some oranges to the market to sell. Ibukun did this for years, and eventually she finished her secondary education. She decided to work for some period before furthering her education in the university, as she was the only one providing for the family. She was a blessing to her mother. Every day, her mother would always pray for her. Ibukun wanted to be a doctor, but the fees were too much, and so she decided to go to a nursing school and become a nurse. But it wasn't easy for her either. Not too long, Ibukun lost her dear mother, and she spent all she had on her burial as demanded by her uncles and kinsmen. She was left devastated and heartbroken, as her only confidant and friend was dead. Ibukun suffered a great deal. Her uncles came and drove her out of the house because she was not a son, and they took over her parents' properties and left her on the streets with nothing. Ibukun tried reaching out to her parents' friends and relatives, but no one was willing to help. Ibukun made shelter on an uncompleted building, and early in the morning, she would go and hawk oranges. And when she was done, she would join laborers and work on building sites. She did this for a couple of months till she was able to rent a room. Even with her challenges, Ibukun never gave up. She never allowed her challenges to get a hold on her. She would take any job available for her and save the money she made. She did this for a couple of years till she was able to save up money to pay for her tuition fee for her nursing school. Ibukun would go to class and study during weekdays, and during weekends, she would focus on her clothes and underwear business. Sometimes she would help her colleagues wash their clothes and clean their hostels, and she would be paid for her services. There were days that she wanted to join her friends who were getting favors from men in exchange for their bodies, but she would immediately come out of it when she remembers all that her mother had taught her. Ibukun worked and studied very hard, and eventually it paid off. She graduated as the second best in her class and got a job right after. She stopped doing menial jobs and focused on her work. Ibukun was loved by her patients in the hospital because she was very friendly, especially by the children. One day, a certain handsome man named Dr. Olumide saw her and started observing her. He loved the way Ibukun was dedicated to her work, and so he decided to get closer to her. And they became very good friends till they eventually fell in love. Dr. Olumide asked for her hand in marriage months later, and Ibukun accepted, and they got married. Ibukun became a good example in the society, and parents started making references to her. With her husband by her side, she built a hospital at the hometown where she grew up in order for the poor to be able to access affordable medical facilities, and sometimes she would treat them for free. After several years, Ibukun's uncle, who drove her out of her father's house, became very sick and was rushed to her hospital. He had sold all the properties to save himself, but the sickness refused to go away. When her uncle saw her, he buried his head in shame, for he knew what he did was evil. He started asking Ibukun for forgiveness, for he was on his deathbed. Ibukun forgave him before he eventually died, and she assisted his family to bury him. She became a blessing to her husband and the society at large. And not too long, she bore a child and named her after her mother, and her family lived happily ever after. This is the end of this story.
Thank you for listening to this story. Please do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video, and also comment where you are watching from below. We love and appreciate you. Bye.